Buenas tardes, amigos. How are you? This is Mike Kelly from VIP Relocation Tours Panama, coming at you in the expat community. I'm filling in today for Pablo Arias, the founder of the expat community, and my good friend and colleague. He couldn't be here today with us, but no problem. We will go on as usual. So today we've got, of course, our Spanish classes. So, as you know, every Wednesday at 4:30, we will have free Spanish classes they're with Wagner Freer from Costa Rica. He is our partner from We Speak Spanish, and it's amazing to have this opportunity with Wagner, so that you can come on here and get very good Spanish tips every week, totally free for the community. And it's an amazing thing. A lot of people ask, like, should I learn Spanish as an expat in Panama, Costa Rica, or Mexico? And we say yes, of course. It's going to add to the total experience. So this is your opportunity to get your feet wet, get started. You're going to learn a lot from Wagner for sure. Classes are really good. So as part of the expat community, we also offer information for you guys. So the point is to have like a one-stop resource or hub where you can come to get the information that you need. So every Friday we'll be sending out to your emails relevant news for your region in English, so translated in English. So you'll be up to speed on all of the hot topics. Information is key. You want to know what's going on, whether you're in Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico, wherever in the world. We're going to make sure that we're going to be giving you the news, the most important news going on at the time. And a little bit about the expat community itself. So we're an alliance of local business owners in Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico, that have come together to sponsor this group, this community. Community is the best way to put it, so that you get the relevant information that you need. You can meet other expats. We're going to be having guests on to talk about different topics. Pablo, he's the owner of International Relocation Partner Shipping Company. And so, we just have, this network of people and professionals in these countries that are going to be able to help you guys. What I do personally, we do with VIP Panama Relocation Tours, we do group and private relocation tours of Panama. So basically what we do is we show you all of the best areas of the country where you would want to live. We introduce you to medical professionals. We show you real estate. We show you what it's like and what you need to do to get to transition to Panama and how you can live better in Panama. So, having said all of that, I would like to introduce the man of the next half hour, Wagner Freer, from We Speak Spanish. He's going to start your Spanish lesson today. Enjoy, and trust me, you will learn some valuable information. So,
thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great.
So,
todo bien, pura vida.
Todo pura vida, exacto. Todo pura vida. So this is one more exciting week. So I love what I do. So I love to be in touch with my students. I love to teach. So can you imagine, normally I teach between 11 or 12 hours per day. So if I am not loving my job, it probably is not possible to work a lot of hours per day. But this is something that I enjoy, and I am happy one more week to stay here. In some minutes, we will start our class, so we will go to our introduction. But yeah, we will continue with the process to learning Spanish, and I hope that all of you stay connected with us. And I see you in a couple of minutes. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Wagner, so you know now my name. My name is Wagner. I am a Spanish teacher. I am the owner of We Speak Spanish in Costa Rica. So we are a Spanish school focused on Spanish classes for residents, Spanish classes for expats. So we are happy to share our knowledge with you. So yes, we will start our class now, and I want to know if some of you, if you are connected today, if you had or if you stayed in our previous session. So this is our session number 3. Do we have students from the other sessions? Please, I want to see the comments. Meanwhile, I prepare. Okay. Meanwhile, you are answering in the chat. So let me see. Okay. Okay, in our two previous sessions, so we started to speak about some basic concepts that I like to check with my students when they are learning Spanish. What kind of concepts? For example, I mentioned last week about what it's a noun, about what it's an adjective, so about what it's an article, so about what it's an adverb, and also about what it's a verb. So for me, like a Spanish teacher, it's very important that my students, they have clear what is that. And I know that many of you use that perfectly in English, but you don't know, or sometimes you don't know exactly what is the meaning of that. So you use that because we learn that like in a nature way. However, when we need to describe what is that, sometimes we don't know. That is why I like to start always with that review, because the students, they should have clear how works that different particles in Espanol and in English. Okay. Let me go to the document. So in our document, last week, so we spoke about the noun. So let me do a small review. What is a noun? So what is a noun? A noun, it's I told you, it's everything that you can see in front of you. So if you are in your office, everything that you can see there, we can consider that those are nouns. Chair, silla, table, the table, mesa, computer, computadora, lamp, lámpara, window, ventana, door, puerta. Everything that you can see around you, we will consider that those are nouns. Okay? So in simple words, a noun, it's a person, it's an animal, it's a thing, or it's a place. Okay? And also last week we talked about this. One of the characteristics, not talking about the object per se, if not talking about the characteristic of the noun, is that nouns in English, they have or they are singular or plural. However, in Espanol, the nouns, they could be singular, plural, or they can be masculino or femenino. So we have in Spanish one more characteristic, the gender, masculine or feminine. Okay? So in English, singular, plural, but in Spanish, masculine, feminine, singular, and plural. We saw in our last class here some of the examples. For example, Yep, here we can see this, like in English, share, shares, dog, dogs, car, cars, ball, balls. But in Español, we had here, silla. Silla is share, but silla is feminine and singular. But also we have the feminine and plural, sillas. The next one, car, carro. Carro is masculine and singular. Carros, masculine and plural. Let me give you one more example. Por ejemplo, mesa. Did you know the meaning of mesa? What is mesa? I want to see your comments. Exactly. Mesa, it's table. So in this case, we can say that mesa, it's singular and feminine. And if we want to have the form of the singular, of the plural and feminine, we will say mesas. Christopher, excellent. Table, mesa, it's a table. Okay, one more example. Por ejemplo, we can say computadora. Computadora. Computadora, it's a computer. We will consider that computadora is femenino and singular. And if we want to have the form of the feminine and plural, we will say computadoras. Okay? So Wagner, but how do we know if the noun is masculine or if the noun is feminine? Do you know the answer? Okay, I like to say this in this way. The 90% of our nouns, they follows the rule of, if the rule is, if ends with O, it's masculine. If ends with A, it's feminine. The 90%, let me say that in that way, the 90% of our nouns, when they ends with O, those are masculine, or when they ends with A, those are feminine. So that's the best way to know if the noun is masculine or if it's feminine. So previously we talked about some of that example. Let me see if we can see it here. Exactly. So we have share, silla. If you see the ending ends with A, so we will consider that silla is feminine. Ocean, océano. In that case, the ending is O. We will see that océano is masculine. Perro, masculine. Iglesia, if you see the ending, it's A. So in that case, it will be feminine. Vaso, glass, masculine. Cama, ends with A, feminine. Carro, ends with O, masculine. Dinero, ends with O, masculine. If you want to put some examples in the chat, also I will use them. Por ejemplo, one more example. If you say niño, niño, niño significa, the meaning of niño is boy. So in that case, niño, it's masculino. But also we have the female version. In that case, it will be niña. Okay, masculino y femenino. Okay, let me see. We have other example here. We can say, zapato. What's the meaning of zapato? Shoes. And zapato is masculino. Why? Because ends with O. But in the other, shoes, exacto. Okay, in the other, we have, por ejemplo, cartera. What's the meaning of cartera? Cartera, it's purse, okay? And purse is feminine. Let me go to my website. And okay, remember in my website, we speak Spanish, uh, cr.com. So you can see there that website. Here in student resources, we have a lot of content, a lot of material that you can use. So let me go to the flashcards. The flashcard will help us to talk about the nouns. Okay, if we talk about the fruits, so we can see here banano. In that case, banano is feminine or masculine? It's masculine because the ending it's O. The next one, fresa, strawberry, feminine, piña, pineapple, feminine, coco, coconut, masculine, manzana, manzana, manzana is feminine, naranja, naranja is feminine, banano, we already know that banano is masculine, frambuesa, frambuesa, that is feminine, and toronja, that is masculine. Okay, so the 90% of the nouns, they will follow the rule that I showed you. O, it's masculine, and A, it's feminine. Okay, Wagner, what happened with the other 10%? What happened with the other 10%? Let me see if we have examples of that. Okay. The other 10%, let me go back to the document. Or let me say like the other 8%. See these other nouns. Aguacate. ¿Qué significa aguacate? I like aguacate. I love aguacate. Aguacate. Noche. Coche. Parque. Cheque. Queque. Are these words following the rule of the 90%? O masculine, A feminine? No. This is exactly the situation. These words, the ending is 1E. But we don't know if it's masculine or if it's feminine. So there's no way to know that. Like in the first rule, O masculine, A feminine. But now with these nouns, it's difficult to know because there's no way to know that. So Wagner, in that case, what do we need to do? So we need to learn this according everything word. So just for example, in this case, it's aguacate masculino or it's aguacate femenino. Do you know what is that? Masculine or feminine? Exactly. In this case, aguacate, we will consider that aguacate is masculino. So the word aguacate, it's masculino. How do we know that? No, it's only the use. So, but of course, if you use this, if you are speaking, if you say la aguacate, well, probably nothing is going to happen. So only as a small mistake. But the idea in the process is to fix that small situations in the language. Okay? So aguacate is one word that ends with E, and we consider aguacate that it is masculine. What about noche? I know that some of you know the gender of noche. Masculino o femenino? How do you say good night? How do you say good evening? Buenas noches. Caroline, you are right. Noche is femenino. We say buenas noches. Okay? And if you see the use of buenas, the ending is A. So that means like noche, it's femenino. I will put it here. La noche. Exactly. Okay, what about coche? ¿Qué significa coche? What's the meaning of coche? We use this word with 3 different meanings. And many people in Mexico, if you are in Mexico, you know this, many people in Mexico say to the car, they say coche. Exactly, Caroline, car is coche, okay? Okay, so entonces, in this case, coche, masculino o femenino, we will say el coche. Exacto, we will say el coche, el aguacate, la noche. Parque, masculino o femenino. Okay, el parque. And here, I told you like there's no way to know if it's masculine or feminine. However, sometimes we have a small patterns of that help us. For example, in the next words, we will have that pattern because the ending que, in some of the cases, not in all the cases, in some of the cases, the use of que is telling me that that word is masculine. So, for example, el parque. ¿Qué significa el parque? The park. ¿Qué significa el cheque? El cheque, it's the check. Okay? And el cheque, if you see, it has the ending que. El queque. It's one more word with a similar pattern. With a similar pattern that we will consider it like masculine. So, just one more time. We have some nouns that it is not easy to identify if they are masculine or feminine because the ending E, it's not clear if it's masculine or feminine. It's something that we should learn. So here we have some examples. El aguacate. ¿Qué significa aguacate? Avocado. El aguacate, it's avocado. El coche. El coche. El parque. El cheque. El queque. Okay? In the other column, I want to add, for example, carne. Who knows the meaning of carne? The meat. And carne, it is feminine. La carne, la noche, la tarde. What is tarde? The afternoon. The afternoon. Okay? Let me add one more here. El café. El café. So we can continue with examples in this section that those are, like how I said, the 8% of the nouns, they are in this category. Okay, we will almost finish the class, but before that, I want to tell you what happened with 1% of the nouns. Okay, and I want that you help me. So, for example, what happened with this? Problema. ¿Qué significa problema? Problem. ¿Qué significa sistema? System. ¿Qué significa programa? Program. ¿Qué significa clima? Climate. ¿Qué significa tema? Topic, subject. ¿Qué significa Mapa. And Andres, you put something in the chat about that. Mapa, map. ¿Qué significa poema? Poem. Okay, the question is, it's problema masculine or feminine? It's system masculine or feminine? It's program masculine or feminine? Clima, tema, mapa, poema. Are these words masculine or feminine? What do you think? I remember when I hear my students saying la problema or saying el problema. Which one is correct? Okay, if you don't know the answer, I want to tell you that these 1% of the nouns, those are exceptions. Those are exceptions, okay? Because problema, it looks like a feminine. Why? Because ends with a. Sistema, it looks like a feminine because ends with a. Programa, it looks like a feminine because ends with a. However, in Spanish, we consider that all of them, those nouns are masculine. So all of them, so we say el problema, never la problema. I don't want to hear you saying that. Never, you never should say la problema. We should say el problema. And here, if you see, we have one more short pattern about this situation. El problema ends with MA. El sistema, the system, masculine, but it looks feminine. El programa, it is masculine. El clima. So all of them, let me put it here. El problema, el sistema, el programa, el clima, el tema, el mapa, and el poema. Of course, we have more, but these ones are the most important exceptions. So they looks like a feminine word, but the real situation is they are masculine. Okay? So, and what about in the feminine side? I want to give you one example. Mano. Mano. ¿Qué significa mano? Hand. And if you see, and it's normal for me to listen my students when they say el mano, but that is also incorrect because mano, it looks masculine, however, it is feminine. La mano. And this use is when you use the word singular and when you use the word plural. El problema, los problemas. El sistema, los sistemas. El programa, los programas. La mano, las manos. And now I remember one more that probably you use every day in your house. El sofá. Sofa, it looks feminine, but it is masculine. Okay? We will stop here. Now we will stop here our class. I want that you try to check the videos, to try to remember the rules of the nouns. This is something basic, but it's very, very important. Okay, next class, next week, we will finish, in our next class, we will finish the topic about the nouns and we will continue with our classes. So remember, it's me, Wagner, from We Speak Spanish. And if you want to check my website, we have now new groups in Santana. We have new groups in Atenas. We have a new groups in La Sabana. And we are waiting for you in that classes. Okay, thank you. And I see you next week to all of you.
Wagner, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mike.
We really appreciate you doing this. And that, I'm glad that you reviewed the masculine words that end in A, because that's very confusing when you're learning Spanish. I remember,
Mike, did you say la problema or el problema?
El problema. But
El problema.
I don't think, yeah, it's el problema. But it's that's one of those things like el problema. Okay, well, problema ends in A, so why isn't it la problema? El sofá. So anyway, when I was learning Spanish, I asked my wife, like, why is it like that? She said, well, don't worry about it. That's just how it is. So learn it that way. So
exactly.
When these things come up, that's the rule. Maybe it doesn't make sense as far as like how you were taught, where if it's feminine, la, it should end in A, and vice versa. El, O, it's not always like that. You just have to accept that, learn it that way, and eventually it just comes natural. So thank you so much.
Definitely, it will come natural. Yeah.
Yeah. So Wagner, thank you again. Wagner from We Speak Spanish. He'll be here every Wednesday, 4:30. So we look forward to seeing you all next week for the class. And from everyone here at the Expat community, we wish you guys a muy buenas tardes. Good afternoon. And we'll see you next time.
Muchas gracias, Mike. Have a good day.
A ti.
Gracias.
Igualmente. Tenga un buen día.
Igualmente, Mike.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.